What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Destiny 1 in 2024, 10 years later. How's the game doing these days? Well, it has certainly seen better days, that's for sure. The game is almost completely dead, especially on PS3 and 360, but also on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On every single platform, you struggle to find Crucible matches. You'd be sitting in a lobby and most of the time you're not going to get anything. I can't remember the last time I was able to play Control or Supremacy or Clash. Rumble is the only thing I'm ever able to get, which is free-for-all. And this was actually the only match I was able to play. I played it on a Saturday a couple of weeks ago, and I kept trying to get another game every single day, every day of the week, different times of the day, and on weekends as well, and nothing. Just nothing. So PvP is pretty much dead. You're not going to really be able to find Crucible matches in 2024. You'll get lucky every now and then, but you will never be able to really play it consistently, and it's pretty much only free-for-all, which me personally, I am not a fan of free-for-all that much. I mean, it's fun, of course, but I find it a lot more fun playing Domination or Team Deathmatch or something like that. I just enjoy that more. It's probably been about a year or two since I was able to actually play those game modes. I think the last time was when the game was last on sale, where you can get the entire game and all the DLC, including Taken King, for like $20. So that got a lot of new players into the game, but it didn't last very long. People don't really stick with Destiny 1 these days. Everyone's always playing Destiny 2, because it has more content, it has more going for it, it's free to play, and also the big thing is that Destiny 2 is actually playable in 60 FPS, at least on PC and current gen. You can even play up to 120 FPS on consoles. But Destiny 1 was and always will be locked at 30 frames per second, which it's rough. It really is rough going back to 30. Like, back in the day in 2014, I didn't give a shit because most big console games were 30 FPS, and I was only a console gamer. I wasn't really into PC at the time, so I was used to it. But once I got used to 60 FPS when I went to PC, and then coming back to this game years later, it's really hard trying to go back to 30. It's, I wouldn't say unplayable, but it's just weird. It feels really weird, and it just doesn't feel right. That being said, Destiny 1 just had its own charm to it, and I was into Destiny 1 way more than Destiny 2, and I know a lot of people that also felt the same way. Like, they played Destiny 2, and they had fun with it, but Destiny 1 is always going to be their favorite Destiny experience. And as far as the PvE is concerned, that is actually, I would say, a little bit easier to find people, even though you have to do a lot of work to get people that are actually good and trustworthy, and you can actually have fun with. You pretty much have to go on this Discord server, which I'm going to link in the description below, but that's pretty much how people coordinate playing with each other. The way matchmaking works with the raids and the strikes is that you have to actually like already be partied up with people in the lobby. It doesn't just matchmake for you, which is kind of strange, but that's how it works. I mean, they do have like certain playlists that you can matchmake for, but no one's even doing it anyway. Like, you won't even find anyone regardless. So that Discord server, the one I'm going to link in the description, is your best bet if you're trying to find matches with PvE. It was one of the few games that had a great co-op mode and also a great PvP mode. Like, there are very few games that do both well. I think Black Ops 1 with its multiplayer and zombies mode is one of the only few games that really comes close to that. But D1 really was the total package. The only thing that it really lacked was an actual good story mode and campaign. Like, like most of the lore and most of the story, you pretty much read it through Grimoire cards. It's just like the world kind of felt empty in a lot of ways, and it didn't feel like very immersive, and all your NPC interactions are just accepting bounties and taking quests and getting rewards, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's no real deep storytelling. It has a lot of RPG elements, but it really isn't an RPG because there is very little in story and character development. It's pretty much not there. And you kind of feel disconnected from the world around you, not knowing what the fuck is even going on when you're doing a strike or a raid or any of the story content. That's honestly the main thing that kept me from really, truly loving this game. I was really only able to handle so much of it and enjoy it to a certain level. My best friend at the time, who actually still is my best friend, he was addicted. Destiny 1 was pretty much his entire life during junior year of high school. It was pretty bad. Like, he would just come home from school, play Destiny 1 all day, all night, every single day, and that's all he did. It was really hard to get him to actually, like, go out and actually do something outside. But it was a very special game, and there weren't really a lot of games like that out at the time, especially on consoles. That being said, it doesn't really hold up in 2024, mostly because it's very dated. Like, it still looks incredible. As far as visuals and everything, it's one of the best looking games from 2014 by far. It's beautiful. But the 30 FPS, not good. And the player base is very small and not very active these days. It's really tough for me to say, yeah, it's worth playing in 2024 when it's a paid game that you have to spend money on. It does have this really good thing, though, where if you buy the game, you can have, like, a level boost where you're automatically at level 40. So you already have all the story content unlocked, and you don't really have to grind and level up as much. You still have to grind for exotics and certain weapons that you want to have, but that feature makes it so much better for a new player to get into. I actually technically was a new player a couple of years ago, even though I had it on PS4 back in the day. I haven't used PlayStation in many, many years, so I bought the game again on Xbox One, and I thought it was great that I went right to level 40 instead of starting from the bottom at level 1. And you do get some good weapons, decent weapons at least, to start off with, but the multi-tool, that gun fucking ripped. I miss it so much. I have it on my PlayStation account, but like I said, I don't have a working PlayStation console. Certainly not going to buy one for just Destiny 1, especially if I could just play it on Xbox. It doesn't really matter anyway if the game doesn't really have much life to it anymore. It's weird though, because if you go to the last city on Earth, if you go to the Vestian Outpost, you'll find players roaming around, and even if you do patrols in pretty much every planet, you'll find players. So that does tell me the PvE probably has a lot more life in it than the PvP does, and I feel like most of the time people just play Crucible, not necessarily because they enjoyed the PvP so much, but because it was a necessary part, to complete the Crucible bounties and to get certain gear that they couldn't get any other way. Like, yeah, I knew a lot of people that didn't really play it for the fun of it. They played it for the grind. But it sucks, because I really like the multiplayer for this game. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as Halo, because, it was developed by Bungie. Halo definitely is much better as far as PvP is concerned, and that also depends on what Halo we're talking about. Halo 1, 2, and 3, yeah, are much better. Halo Reach, I would rather play Destiny by far, because Halo Reach fucking sucks, but yeah, I do like certain aspects of Destiny's multiplayer. I think the balancing is pretty good, and the gameplay mechanics are also pretty interesting, like the supercharged abilities that each class has, and the grenades and the secondary weapon, special weapon, kind of has its own unique flavor to it. Doesn't feel just like a way of them trying to remake Halo. It doesn't feel like Halo. But then again, neither do half the games that are in the actual Halo series developed by 343. But that's a story for another day. We'll be covering the Halo games very soon on the channel. I just about ran through the entire Call of Duty series. I have started playing the Battlefield games. So yeah, if you like classic multiplayer games and want to see how they hold up in 2024, I mostly stick to shooting games. I don't really play anything that doesn't have a gun or anything like that in it. So it's shooters. It's third-person shooters, first-person shooters, stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to play Call of Duty one day and Barbie Princess the next. But it's, I have a different variety of games that I play within the shooter genre, and sometimes I go out of my comfort zone. I play games that I never played before. Like, I think I want to run through every single Gears of War game, even though I don't know anything about that series and never really delved into it too much. But I like expanding my horizons and playing different experiences. Even if it doesn't always end well, my gameplay isn't always going to be great, especially if it's a game I'm not familiar with. Even this game, gameplay started off fine, then it kind of just fell off a cliff, literally and figuratively. But then you'll notice other games like COD, I play very well because I'm very familiar with it. That's how this channel got started, was Call of Duty. But my most popular videos are always outside of Call of Duty, which I find so funny, but Yeah. Final verdict, Destiny 1 is not good in 2024. If you already own the game and you just want to come back for nostalgia's sake, sure, be my guest, go ahead. But for new players, it's not going to be a positive experience just because of the low player activity. And the 30 FPS lock is also something that you're most likely not going to like and will hurt your ability to really fully enjoy the game. So, no, I don't recommend it.